Jeff, I'm excited to speak with you. Um, so you have a lot going on. This is actually a really exciting weekend.
Yeah.
And you have what? You have the Company of Angels.
hmm
We're going on virtual short play festival.
hmm
I mean, can you explain how, well, with the whole pandemic, changes had to be made, but how does a virtual short play film festival work?
Okay. Well, we as artists, we adapt, and we have to figure out how to make it work. And in the spirit of theater, and the show must go on. I've been involved with Company of Angels for a couple of years now, and I'm more involved now that I got back from New York. I was gone for a year, and we kind of just were like, we need to start doing stuff online and start doing shows. We were doing spoken word things and doing just readings of different plays and that kind of stuff. And we were like, so much is happening right now. Why don't we get artists involved from these communities to talk about what's happening currently? So that's why the piece is called "What's Going On" from the Marvin Gaye song. And we gave all these writers from the community, that's the guideline, write about what's going on, whether it's the pandemic or the protests, Black Lives Matter, all that stuff, and put that into a 5-minute play, roughly, and that's kind of where it came from. And we said, we have the capability to be live with people and stream now, so why not use that for theater? Why not keep theater going that way?
So can you tell me about that for this weekend, this
Yeah.
Saturday?
Yeah, so it's going to be Saturday. It's at 8 p.m. We're going to be streaming on the website, companyofangels.org. They're also going to be doing it from their Facebook and Twitch. And I believe their Twitch is CO Angels. I think that's what it is. CO Angels is what their Twitch is. And we're just going to be streaming. We're going to be doing it. We're going to be doing, like, I think it's 8 plays, something like that. And there will be someone doing, I think, a spoken word in the middle of it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so you can just stream it live, and then it'll live on their website afterwards because it's going through YouTube, so it'll be up there also.
Okay, so you said it's 8 plays. So are these 8 plays on the 8th, like Saturday going on, or throughout the weekend?
Oh no, it's just Saturday. So we had our opening weekend this last Saturday that just passed, and then on the 8th, which is this upcoming Saturday, we're doing the rest of them. So we did half and half. Because we had a lot of submissions, we had a lot of plays, and rather than have one really long night, we just figured we'd have 2 shorter nights that way.
Okay, that's awesome. And then you're going to be in the play No Caps, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's these 2 friends they're zooming each other, and they're getting ready to go to a Rams football game, and it's what happens as they start realizing what they're doing, that they have this conversation about about what it means to be a football fan and all that stuff. So they have this kind of conversation about that. I'm also directing one called "Stay With Me," written by Ron McCants. It's a really cool piece, and that one is about like an executive producer, creator, writer who's on a podcast to talk about his career and stuff, but it ends up being more of a conversation about what's going on right now and how that makes him feel as a Black person in America right now, how all of these things are affecting him. So it's a really kind of cool conversation about how it affects his day-to-day life and his job, et cetera, et cetera.
So how long are these plays? I mean, to me it sounds like 8. That's quite a bit for one night.
Yeah. I think they're between 5, maybe about 5-6 minutes. They're around there. They float around 5 or 6 minutes, which is really great. I mean, again, the writer of No Caps, Luis Sanchez, he's amazing. He's one of the company members. It says that these writers can do some really good stuff. To tell a story in that short amount of time, a theater piece, that's not usually 10-minute plays are a thing, but 5-minute plays is. It's not as easy to do. It's not an easy thing, but they pull it off, and then they keep you engaged.
Yeah, because 5 minutes, 6 minutes, I mean, you really have to keep the audience like really focused.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
within the time frame.
Yeah. And it's interesting directing for this kind of medium. It's interesting because you using your body and like using the stage and using the whatever. It's not, you have to adapt to that stuff. So it's a little different to be able to tell these stories dynamically within the confines of like this screen, you know?
Hmm. So what have been some of the limitations that, because of that, because you're only limited to the space that you've come across?
I think
Or do you
one
get
of
challenged in
the
this case?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge has been figuring out how to keep attention forward, how to stay engaged. And what I found, having seen other performances like this, because like throughout the pandemic, I've done some other stuff with other theater companies and other, acting. I'm in an acting class and we do it. And I think uh, staying staying, as long as you're connected and what you're doing is interesting, like if you're connected to the person you're talking to, there's interest that like as you're watching it, you're like, okay, cool, I can keep watching this. But I think as soon as that's broken, as soon as you stop paying attention to the person, you start kind of like, you know, for whatever reason, when you're on camera, it picks everything up, and because it's closer to your face. On stage, you have the liberty to kind of move around a little bit, but yeah, when you're on a tiny camera, anything that you do suddenly is like, I'm disconnected from you, and it's that fast. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of a challenge to kind of keep. I'm like, I tell my actors like, stay connected, stay with what you're trying to portray to your partner, and then that helps.
So you also recently did like a short film once. I
Yeah,
mean,
I did during quarantine.
tell me, it's like the perfect timing. I mean, you did it during COVID, like right now.
Yeah. So it's it's I did it. A friend of mine was like, hey, we're gonna do like an alphabet kind of short film thing. Like everyone gets a letter of the alphabet, and just make a short film that's again like roughly about 5 minutes ish. That was kind of like the guideline. And I was like, okay, I've never done something from scratch. I've never done that. I've acted in stuff. I've helped people produce things, and I've even acted in stuff that I've produced, but I'd never done something from scratch. So I was like, okay, I got kind of an idea. I've got some footage that I had from other things that I've shot, and I was like, I think I can do stuff. I think I can tell a story here. And I just kind of took what was happening here, and I was like, I don't want it to just be about the pandemic. So I was like, how is it that even when there wasn't a pandemic, in what ways did we like stop ourselves from doing the things that we wanted to do? And we all have our own kind of mini quarantine pandemic happening in our head all the time. And I wanted to talk about that, and like mental health, and how feeling alone and disconnected from people, how that manifests sometimes, and how little things can make a big difference.
Well, it sounds like it's something that everyone in this case can relate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so. I mean, I showed it to people. It's done. We're going to be submitting it to film festivals and stuff. And the people that I showed it to are just like, oh man, I'm so glad I'm not alone. Like, I'm so glad that I'm not the only one experiencing this. And I'm like, that's great. That's the point of art. The point of art is for us to be like, I saw a thing and I felt seen because of it. So yeah. So I'm excited. I can't wait to put it online and have people see it. I'm excited about it.
Well, obviously, I have yet to see it. Is there like a message that maybe it has for the viewer, maybe to help?
Yeah, like I said, I think like the message is, we are consumed by our inner voice telling us that we have to do amazing, incredible things all the time. It's like, oh my God, you heard people saying like, yeah, this is the time. You have all the time in the world. Write a book and like do all the things. And it's like, yeah, but that's not realistic. And it's weird that we think that like in a time of panic, what we should be doing is going like, I'm gonna like paint the next Mona Lisa. Like, it's just like, I don't know why our brain goes there. And we as a culture, we're so driven by like creating all the time. And if we're not creating and doing, then there's something wrong with us. And I think that's what I'm talking about. I think in this short, it's about doing little things that can be the beginning of changing your life. You don't have to start a new diet tomorrow that's like everything is completely different. You make little changes over time, and you start becoming more healthy over time. You don't just do it overnight. Some people can do that. Most people cannot do that. And I think that that's okay to take your time with life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I started repainting my room and my living room.
And that's great. It's great. That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's kind of, yeah, that is something important. If you're doing something for yourself that means something to you, that makes your day-to-day life better, then you're doing something good. because now you're going to be part of the world and you're better, and now the world is better. So that's kind of something that I think about a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. This wall was already this color, our matching walls.
We're not in the same room, but it looks like we are, and that's fantastic.
Yes, yes. We got the memo, like I said.
Yeah.
So something I did want to talk to you about, you have a film that's on Amazon Prime that people can watch, House of Demons.
Mm-hmm.
I admit I didn't watch it, but I want scary movies. I live alone. I mean, I'm home all the time with the COVID, and that just means I would not be able to sleep for weeks, and I would have these dark circles. But
no, definitely, it's a horror film, but it is like more a psychological kind of psychological horror, as opposed to just like gory, like crazy stuff happening. It's more like a tonal thing for like watching it again. It's like a. It isn't. I'm not into horror movies. Honestly, they freak me out. I lose sleep over them too. I'm like, oh, God, it's so creepy.
Yeah, watch it, right?
Yeah, you should be able to watch it. Again, it's kind of like a different telling of what we think is horror and how that genre is. So it's kind of like a little genre bending. It's more psychedelic. It's a little out there, and at the end of the day, it's kind of a drama with supernatural elements about trauma. So that's kind of how I would describe that film. Yeah.
Okay, this is good to know, and I wish that some of these films had something like that. Like, you cannot handle like strong horror, but you can handle intense, then do watch.
Yeah, that would be a nice little thing. He's got to use the word of mouth for the time being, but having some kind of rating to know what kind of horror we're getting into is good, because I'm like you. Like I said, I don't usually watch that stuff.
Yeah. So tell me about the film and your character in that role.
So I play Matthew. Yeah, I believe is his name. Kind of like losing whatever. Yes, and he's like this kind of these characters. They're at like a wedding reception. They're like at a wedding weekend for a mutual friend's wedding. Everyone loves this dude that's getting married, and the other friends haven't hung out with each other in a while. So they're now hanging out together, and they're kind of unsure how to deal with each other because they had a traumatic experience that happened years before. So my character's kind of a burnout. He's kind of been like dealing a little bit of weed. He's kind of like just he didn't get his life back after that event, and I think a lot of the characters didn't, and it's them kind of coming to terms with that. And then as the supernatural elements kind of come in, that's kind of what we start dealing with, like, whoa, is what's happening in our heads, how are we reacting to what's happening, and all that stuff. So that's kind of the gist of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then is there anything else that you may be working on, or maybe have to pause for a moment because of COVID, that you can
yeah, I'm actually, so I'm we were going to shoot this feature film. I got cast in this feature film called Summer Associate, and I'm still going to play like the romantic lead, like the interest, and it sounds like a really fun project. The script is hilarious. It's really fun. And we were going to shoot in May, right around May in Chicago, and that got pushed, obviously. So, that's still technically in production, and hopefully if the numbers fall and we figure out a way to be safe on set, I mean, ideally we'd be able to shoot it. That'd be really cool. But that was something I got going on. Other than that, I'm writing stuff. I'm writing a feature film with a friend. We wrote a pilot, and just trying to get my own stuff created if I can. That would be great.
So it sounds like this pandemic has brought some positive things. I mean, you said usually you would just be helping friends here and there, but now you're doing your own, like, from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, yeah, I think we're living in one of the weirdest, I mean, maybe most awful times in recent history. I don't think that means that everything has to be that way, and I think that if you see the opportunity to help or do something or create, then and if you feel good and you want to do it, then do it. We do have more time on our hands, and I think I have been trying to take advantage of it, and I've been trying to figure out how to balance that, because sometimes I feel really busy and I'm like, I need to take a nap, man. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, and I kind of need to take a second for myself to just be able to sit in silence and be okay with that. But it has been good. Yeah, it's been really kind of eye-opening, and has taught me how that in a situation where we all feel so powerless, that you have power over your own choices and you have power over your own life in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's good. Where you're definitely learning, something new, and like,
Yeah.
and that's just going to open the door for much more challenges for you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And I think everyone can just take it easy on themselves a little bit. I think I think everyone has to do that. I think everyone just needs to take it easy on themselves. They deserve it. It's a weird time, so whatever you're feeling, it's all good. Just try and keep pushing.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good message and good way to end this time with you.
Yeah,
Really appreciate your time, and definitely gonna, check this festival out, because I mean, this is different. We gotta adapt, and
yeah,
we need some entertainment.
yeah, definitely, and some new entertainment, some stuff that's happening now. It's weird. We watch movies now and we're like, oh God, they're touching. What the hell? What's happening? Oh my God. I don't know. I see people like dancing at a party in a movie, and I have like a panic attack. I'm like, what the fuck? God, where are their masks? God, what's happening? So yeah, so it's good. Yeah,
Yes, we need to get out of that a little, right?
yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for your time and discussing this, and good luck on your,
Thank
second
you.
big night. And I wish you luck in your new stuff. I mean, to all the stuff you're writing, and maybe we'll get to talk.
Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, I
Yeah.
will always keep you posted on other stuff that I'm doing. It's really great talking to you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You have a good one. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too.